luxuries of this relationship
I gotta
with
play
the
this
gang.
back. People are really rampaging over
man, I do
Kanye
want to
West
speak to you, man. We've been talking. We've been speaking about this Kanye's visit to the White House.
So,
sitting down, we got a lot of people that's been calling this morning. A lot of people that been hitting us up on social media, and it's about the visit. How did that visit make you feel? If you can say anything to Kanye West today, what would it be? We have people that's been in support, people that's been in opposition, but I also was talking about how T.I. went to his social media, and I just thought that he had fleshed out something so well and straight to the point. And there's a relationship when it comes to T.I. and Kanye. I do want to bring my guy T.I. into the neighborhood, man, and so we can just see what's going down, man, because I could read it, but the way that it was written was amazing, man. So let's bring T.I. into the neighborhood. T.I., Tip, what's going on? What's up, brother? First off, T.I., we live on the air.
Huh?
We're live on the air right now, so just in case, you want to say something crazy to me, you know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about? Wait a minute. What are you doing? You're really abusing the luxuries of this friendship, Big. I didn't ask you live on the air.
My man said the luxuries. I'm abusing the luxuries of this relationship with the gang. Alrighty, but
what's happening, man?
Man, I do want to speak to you, man. We've been talking about this all morning, man, and then just watching Kanye West at the White House, sitting down with Trump in the Oval Office, and I saw where you kind of posted of something that was like, now you've been extremely patient, and you made it a point not to jump to any premature conclusions. And then you go on to say this is the most repulsive, disrespectful, and embarrassing act of desperation and auctioning off one soul to gain power I've ever seen. Now, I recall you asking me to come to have this meeting with you, in which I declined. And it goes on and on, man. So did Kanye, I can't even ask you in a nutshell because, I want this to breathe. How did you feel when you watched Kanye West sitting down with Donald Trump in the Oval Office?
Man, first of all, man, let me start off by saying, man, I'm tired of talking about Kanye.
Yeah, same here.
Let me start off by saying that. I'm really sick and tired of it. And I ain't the person I ain't all knowing of Kanye. It's just, and it really like, you know what I'm saying? I set out, man, to try and, use, I guess, the knowledge and wisdom that I have gained and the information that I have absorbed in my little, just in my little journey, man, and my little stint of accidental activism, and just trying to use it for good and direct somebody who I feel like is an extremely great talent, and and a great, and what I knew to be a great person, what I know to be a great person, as far as with great intentions and a good spirit, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, direct that person on the path of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? That was mine. But I felt like when I seen that, they're like, man, for real, man, you putting everybody in jeopardy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you finna crash the whole ship, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I can't just sit back and let anything that anybody does that I have some affiliation with crash the ship. And it wasn't even. And it wasn't even about the meeting. It was really about the manner in which, you know what I'm saying? It was the manner in which you got to go in there, man. When you go in there, man, as an equal, man. And you know what I'm saying? You look them folk in the eye. First of all, you address the blatant disrespect and disregard for our people. You know what I'm saying? That had been going on. You address, those babies that were separated from their parents at the border and who now being, given off into adoption to American families now without the parents'
permission. That's one thing I want to
you
stop
address
there,
all of these
guys.
things.
I'm going to hold on.
No, man, you don't
brother, when he was talking about, too. Dressed to the nine. Okay, today's football. So I'm dressed to the nine. When you stand before white folks, I don't care what, you come to the nine. You let them know I'm just as professional as you. Kanye look like like he just get off the field picking cotton, okay? And want to bless his master. I'm going to tell you, look, Louis Farrakhan say something. It looked like he just get out the field picking cotton and want to bless master. with that make a great American bull crap. T.I., Snoop Dogg even. Snoop with the weed in his, but he has a sharp ass, tailored suit on. Our black men are handsome. That right, David. Anyways, are handsome in their suits. That's what you should have came up in the White House with, and then left it alone with all that bull. The man sitting next to him looked like he wanted to smack the shit out of him. I wouldn't have said one thing. Yeah, I'll pay a visit, but I'm gonna sit a distance from you. I'm gonna be abruptly sharp to the nine. I'm gonna hear everything you have to say, Mr. Trump, because when I come back, it's gonna be for my people. Y'all know I look like who? Davis, Angela Davis, amen. And she did a lot for history. Our history. This is crazy. Uncle Tom's Cabin, baby, that's a shame. That is a shame. Let's continue to listen on and then we're gonna move on. Because we got the game coming up. Black coach, number 1. Hey, going for number 4. 4, I said win.
Going there with all that broke back subservience, you know what I'm saying? All that weakness, all that yes or no, sir. Oh, I love it, man. Oh man, let me hug it, man. Come on, man. You don't let the next generation see that. That ain't how we rocking.
That's how we get down.
You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we came in here, man, because we built our own, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at you out of eye.
My husband David, that's what probably attracted to me.
I ain't coming here. I don't need you to give me that. But
Angela Davis,
right
baby.
what you supposed to do.
And this bitch don't take no.
So that's go in there speaking.
I give no.
Man, I ain't talking about.
Go ahead, T.I. Preach it, bro.
None of the things that they was in there talking about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't speaking to I'm just saying, like, that just ain't the manner in which you go in there speaking about nothing. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm trying to educate our daughter.
Going in there trying to represent us.
And when I heard the comment of,
she wondered why my hair looked
almost like you're a father.
And she wondered why my hair looked like this. My hair was longer than yours, sweetheart, when I was in high school. Y'all want to see a picture of me when I was out? I'll pull them up. I had long, natural, black hair, and it was puffy. And the girls just try to talk about me because it wasn't straight. I'm not a white woman. I'm a black woman, a good-looking black woman. Until my husband realized it too, in many ways. Anyways, I love David. I love him. And guess what? I like my look, and it stays. Wash and condition. Y'all girls walking around here with that fake ass shit on your head, looking like white women. Acting like white women. That's why the Louis Farrakhan them try. I don't, man, come on. Try to contact. Hey, I got you. We here. We here, Farrakhan. We here. But I can't get with you either, man. Them bean pies and stuff like. I love you, but you know what? And I know what you're trying to do. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe one day, because we got to get behind you, because you speak the truth about white people. They know damn good. And the one that's in that damn White House right now totally ain't no damn good, okay? Let's keep listening.
Figure, and you're Superman to me, and this MAGA hat is like you're Superman, and the MAGA hat is like my cape, and even seeing Jim Brown saying, happy to serve you, I was just like, man, who do we send? Who do we send in there, man? And
we ain't sent nobody nowhere. We ain't sent nobody nowhere. You know what I mean? There wasn't nobody in there that represent us in our life for real. It wasn't nobody in there that represent us, and because ain't nobody who gonna represent us going in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He asked me to go. I said, hell no. What I'm going in there for? I tell you,
y'all kick his motherfucking ass. Go to jail. I know my good record's clean. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, Chicago Public School, sorry.
I've been saying the same thing this morning, man. Like, take Minister Farrakhan, Tony Minister Tony Muhammad.
Gotta keep a clean, and this clean.
Now, you also said this is a move made for Ye. This is a play to put him in position that he'd like to see himself in. I understand that, but what do those words mean coming from T.I. that this is a move that's made for Ye, that Ye made for Ye?
He did it. Because I think he's going.
Just to get closer to some power.
That's all.
But I mean, don't get me wrong.
How?
I don't even really want to like speak down on it. Like I don't want to have nothing else negative to say. I don't want to have nothing else negative to say because I just don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, that it's a lot that it's much that can be accomplished. You know, just kind of focusing on the negative parts of things.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste no more energy on that.
And then plus, it's also like, man, the platform that we're using also, you know what I'm saying? Does it put us in a position where like, man, now Big Boy and T.I. now they're on talking bad about Ye, but I was just on more of the facts and how do we feel about it, man? And Tip, what's the next move?
It was very unfortunate. And what's even more unfortunate is that, you know, from what I also saw, you know, they were actually speaking about some things that, you know, they need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know, speaking about some things that have some like a high upside. You dig what I'm saying? And to be speaking about it in that manner, you know, in that tone, in that regard, you know, I just feel like it's disrespectful to the whole movement. It's disrespectful to the culture. It's disrespectful to the generation.
Definitely. I agree with you, Tip. Also, one thing that really bothered me was when he wanted to, you know, bring Colin Kaepernick in at the Super Bowl, have him wear that hat. It's like, make America great. Like, what a big slap in the face to the entire movement that Colin has been pushing for and for the social injustice that's going on, you know? And it's like, for you to say that, it's because I feel, and I do feel that though Kanye's intentions are in the right place, I think he means well. The execution was very poor. It was very, very poor. The presentation was not right. And this is not how it's going to get done. And I do think that because he does have a mental issue going on that's not being addressed and it's not being taken care of,
it's beyond mental. For one thing, I'm going to tell you, Kanye West, 1 second. All right, you guys. Just want to take care of some business outside the door. Now, let me tell you something. T.I. said another good thing. Let me tell you. We have come so far. You just don't want to say nothing. He did it to himself. He made it himself embarrassing. And when we didn't send him to the White House, because if our black men would have been together, like the Farrakhan would have did it. Black man weren't. Him and Jesse Jackson get it together. It was a thing, and we would have been straight out. No hugging, no shaking hands. Come in and have a seat. We're not trying to whatever he got. He shouldn't have been in the White House in the first place. Some of us did put him in there. And you know who you are. So there's a lot of Uncle Tom campus. Let's continue on.
That's why he was all over the place. Like, if he really had a plan, this could have really been good.
Mhm.
If he sat down and really thought about his thoughts and what he
bring the
wanted
right
to say,
people in to
and
sit
the right
down with you
people
as well.
to execute
And
this
my thing is this:
properly.
I can understand this love training, this love movement that you're on, but I'm not going to start my love with somebody that I know hates me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to try to turn you around to where I know you hate me and what I stand for, and everybody that's behind me and next to me, in front of me, and my history. I know that you hate this. Now, when I years ago, if I say George Bush doesn't care about black people, alrighty, and that is, I took a platform, and now for me to come and see someone that I know doesn't care about black people and people of color, to align myself with that. You know what I'm saying? And I understand. I'm trying to understand this love train that
Right.
you're on, and this spirituality,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to. But my thing is, man,
I'm not.
Go
I ain't
ahead.
trying to understand a damn thing, man. It
Thank
ain't
you,
my
T.I.
job to dig through all this rubbish and trying to find some value. And if it's valuable, it's supposed to present it as such. You know what I'm saying? And you got to really, like, you know, you got to take what people give you, man. You know what I'm saying? If you give me ignorance, then I'm gonna take it as ignorance. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, well, this is only ignorance because it's making it useful."
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been trying to avoid that. You know, my uncle always told me, man, when a person show you who they is,
Believe them.
Mhm.
Believe
The
it.
person,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Believe
man.
And I've been trying to ignore that. I've been trying to walk away
Tell
from
my kids that. I
Yeah,
tell everybody,
yeah.
they show you who they are.
just looking for
Don't
the positive.
try to fit it.
Honestly, man, I ain't willing to sacrifice.
They show who you are.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay silent.
He's a racist. He wants to put a
stay
wall
silent,
up
stay
for
firm
the.
on mine. But I will
You know,
say I ain't
for
gonna
those,
be
for
negative
whatever
because
he
there's a
want to
lot of
say.
things
I don't see him
that
a
I
visionary.
saw that was mentioned that
You
I
know?
am in full support of. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause I think he went down there and tried to do something to some girl,
Like,
and
that's
they, and
something I feel like
Hispanic
benefits
families
Chicago
and
greatly.
Latino families,
You know what I'm saying?
however,
I think
they do not
that's gonna
play with their
that's gonna
children.
affect people's
They will
lives
cut
in a way
you.
that, like, people will stop dying.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It will bring order to some chaos that is in constant existence in our community. So I ain't gonna never speak ill of that. I ain't gonna never speak ill of that because I know what that'll do for our community.
Want to get rid of the 13th Amendment?
But
we wouldn't be slaves still.
no
But he
man
looked
of
like
respect.
one. He sure did.
You don't handle no matters in association with a man of respect, presenting yourself any other way but respectable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need to speak on no man of respect going
and want to come on and say hug you.
And just
I completed a day's work.
You
the
know
Lord is
you don't
good.
do that. You know, that's disrespectful to the struggle that this man been in.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So I just felt
Louis
I just
felt
it on so
he know we some of us are ignorant as black people.
I don't want to be negative about it.
The only thing about it with that,
I want to speak out of the generation.
React to hate, but I understand now.
I heard that.
Trying to get accomplished in life, that ain't doing.
Man, T.I., I definitely think
I lived 43 years, and I see gradually what Louis Farrakhan is talking about. White folks are the devil, people. And I said it at a nice level. Not all of them, but a great deal of them are. Do not let that fool you. I was watching The Neighbors with Cedric Entertainment and his wife, the one that played on Martin. And I kind of saw him as a black Archie Bunker. Now, those white folks that lived next door to him were very innocent and very moving. They were not racist. But then you got some that makes it so obvious they'll take something right off from underneath you, knowing you possibly could need it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a conjunction. But I have to go back to that. He don't, and that's one thing I kind of separate myself because hatred is hatred. Not all white folks aren't devils, but you can see some of them. That Donald Trump is the biggest devil ever. And somebody's brainwashed him. They can't brainwash Josey Maybles. I got both of my grandmother's name. They know the devil. And guess what? Farrakhan, you ain't never lied. They're the devil. And we have to be praying. That's what y'all need to be doing. I say it every time. Prayer first. Put him first. Because God's going to show you these people who they are. And yes, people, there are some innocent white folks that will go down with us because they're not prejudiced. It's always been like the history does repeat itself. Let's continue on.
Thank you for getting on the phone with us, picking up this phone call, bro. And like I said, man, not even just on air. We've had private conversations. I sent you things in text that I love the way that you continue to represent us. You know what I'm saying? And whatever that us is, if it's black, brown, white, whatever it is, hip hop, the culture, whatever it is, man, I love that we have a voice in UTI. And I thank you for checking in with the neighborhood, bro.
We got you.
Right
no matter if you ain't got
you.
You ain't got to rush and do you. But we got
it's not just black.
And teach them how to get
right. It's not just young.
I'm telling you, it's big time.
It's not just us. Is fair and decent people who want to see equal and who fight for the greater good of all. That's us. You know, it don't matter what color you are, what age you is, what you live, what you do. As long as you're a fair and decent person and you want to see everybody treated equal, then you're gonna go against these old hateful white people who lost the war, and people still keep talking about it. If you against that, then you down.
T.I. in the neighborhood. Thank you so much, Tip. I appreciate you, King. You have yourself a great day, all righty?
Yeah,
all right, you guys.
There it is right there, man. That's our dude, T.I., man. The King! Right there speaking on it, man. Big Boy's neighborhood.
I'm going to move on backwards a little bit. I mean, we had a lot of them. And I don't want to recall that one because it was truly embarrassing to see that right there. And I know everybody, even P. Diddy, everybody has a saying about what he did. Here's another video. Don Lemon from CNN has something to say about it. He's like he had turned
the West Wing drama that played out today when Kanye West met with the president in the Oval Office. I want to play a clip. Don Lemon is with us and get your thoughts. Here's something. Here's some of the stuff that Kanye West and the president said. Listen to this.
If he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president.
Really?
He has to be the freshest, the flyest planes, the best factories, and we have to make our core be empowered. We have to bring jobs into America. I don't answer questions in simple sound bites. You are tasting a fine wine. It has multiple notes to it. The liberal will try to control a black person through the concept of racism because they know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when I said I like Trump to like someone that's liberal, they'll say, oh, but he's racist. You think racism can control me? Oh, that don't stop me. That's an invisible wall. Would you build a trap door that if you mess up and you accidentally something happens, you fall and you end up next to the Unabomber? Let me get this guy right here. I love this guy right here. Yeah. Yes.
He did most of the talking in the Oval Office. Don,
exactly.
What do you think?
Wolf. I have no animosity for Kanye West. I'm just going to be honest, and I may get in a lot of trouble for it. I actually feel bad for him. What I saw was a minstrel show today. Him in front of all of these white people, mostly white people, embarrassing himself and embarrassing Americans, but mostly African Americans, because every one of them is sitting either at home or with their phones watching this, cringing. I couldn't even watch it. I had to turn the television off because it was so hard to watch. Him sitting there being used by the president of the United States, the president of the United States exploiting him, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, exploiting someone who needs help, who needs to back away from the cameras, who needs to get off stage, who needs to deal with his issues. And if anyone around him cares about him, the family that he mentioned today, or whomever, his managers, maybe some other people who are in the music business who know him, they need to grab him and snatch him up and get Kanye together because Kanye needs help. And this has nothing to do with being liberal or conservative. This is to do with honesty. And we have to stop pretending, sitting here on these CNN panels or on whatever network panels and pretending like this is normal. And let's have this conversation about Kanye West and what he's done. Who cares? Why are you sending cameras to the Oval Office for Kanye West? Did you send cameras to the Oval Office and carry it live when Common visited the White House? Common visited the White House and did a beautiful poem, spoken word. It talked about how Black people are kings and queens, how we need to rise up and do better. He didn't disparage anybody. He didn't speak in non sequiturs. He didn't do anything awful. And you know, the only people who criticized him and the only people who really covered it were Sean Hannity and his band of hypocrites who are now applauding Kanye West, the same people that many in that group called the N-word because of Taylor Swift and because of George Bush. And now all of a sudden, he is the person who represents the African-American community. He doesn't. We need to take the cameras away from Kanye and from a lot of this craziness that happens in the White House because it is not normal. And we need to stop sitting here pretending that it's normal. This was an embarrassment. Kanye's mother is rolling over in her grave. I spoke to one of her friends today, or texted with one of her friends today from Chicago, Donda's friends. I used to live there. I know him. She said Donda would be embarrassed by this. She would be terribly disturbed by this. And Kanye has not been the same since his mother died. He kept talking today about, I put the hat on and the hat made me feel strong and wearing a cape. He needs a father figure. He needs someone to help him and to guide him. And he needs a hug more than anything. Kanye, back away from the cameras, go get some help, and then come back and make your case. Nobody, if you want to be conservative, if you want to support Donald Trump, that is your business. But as you're doing it, have some sense with it. Make sense. Educate yourself.
You know, Don, we just played a 1 minute clip of that.
It was very much, you guys. It was very much embarrassing. And for sure, I was very I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna get to that. But there are some others I wanted to talk about. Let's see what Kanye had to say.
A really interesting political pitch from the president over the weekend. Not tax cuts, not drain the swamp.
But I want to get back to that Kanye thing you said about him being the greatest musical living legend.
Yeah, come on, Mom. Get that nigga.
Do you really feel that way, Bob? Like he's the greatest living?
He felt that way.
Did you guys listen to The College Dropout?
No.
Yeah, I think I stumbled upon it at one point.
Okay. Yes. Did y'all listen to Late Registration?
Wait. I want him to keep going. Yes, we did.
Okay.
Oh, you finished?
I'm done.
That's where you stop. That's where it is for you?
Is it my turn?
That's where it ends for me.
My turn?
You keep going. Keep saying albums.
Have you listened to Yeezus?
I've listened to it, yes. Or you're saying ones that you don't like now.
Have you listened to... I feel like he's been on the decline for a while. And I feel like you clearly know that too, because you went to College Dropout and Late Registration.
Yeah.
That's way.
And you clearly know that because you were in your head somewhere in Chicago saying, damn, that nigga's fucked up. I got to save his whole sound. Like, you said that.
Yeah. You're right. Look, man.
How did you?
I preface.
And if I take your verse off of Life of Pablo, like
I'm good.
Yeah, like come on, Chance, give it up. Like part of brotherhood is being able to keep it a buck with your family, with your kinfolk. No,
I keep it a thou wow at all times.
What did you talk about? Ye?
I can't make.
I'm going
Ye
to Chicago
nothing,
to learn some of this slang.
Come through, yo.
Did you like Ye?
Huh?
Did you like Ye?
Did I like Ye? I did a little bit. I didn't have a lot to do with Ye. So with Ye,
no. I'm asking if you just like it.
He said no.
No.
He said no without saying no.
It was a weird. So here's it from Chance's perspective. I had never met Ye for a long time. I was the biggest Kanye fan, and I could say that 10 Day and Acid Rap were very noticeably inspired by Kanye.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Kanye never hit me up though.
He didn't need you then.
Never, right?
He didn't have a phone
At the time. He hit up
the email era.
and he did Don't Like. Yeah, and for the city, that was a whole lot of love and a whole lot of love for Keith. Yeah. But a whole lot of people asking me, why you think Ye didn't fuck with you?
That's not fair though.
That is fair.
I'm sure that was happening, but I don't think that's fair.
it's not fair for me to have to hear that shit. I agree.
Yeah, but at that point,
it's not fair for niggas.
At that point, Chief Keef was at like the top. He had changed everything at that point.
I think I'm also just kind of giving a little bit of perspective as to how any artist I think would feel who's inspired by him. That feels like once they meet him, if they work with him in any capacity, or he hears of them, that they want a relationship. And I think that's what Drake wanted too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what all of us want. Anybody that's like closer
I want
to my
nothing
age.
To do. Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Closer to my age, under 40. Well, I don't know how
I'm not 40.
old
Chance, what's up with you, man? I'm not 40 yet.
35? Under 35.
Thank you.
Anybody that's under 35, that's how niggas is feeling. So,
I heard that you were going to sit in front of CNN for 16 hours, but I thought even you are not that stupid.
Well, no, you were wrong.
They shouldn't be saying things like, it takes a coward to go out.
All right, folks. So I landed at IAD here in Virginia shortly after 2 p.m. My phone was blowing up with folks wanting me to comment on Kanye West's, some describe as weird rant in the Oval Office with Jim Brown and Donald Trump. And so I then went to go take a look at what social media was saying, and folks and like crazy about all the things that he was saying, calling him crazy, deranged, out of his mind. And so then I began to look at the video, and so I saw also what some other commentators were talking about. And I said, you know what? As opposed to falling for that very easy trap, I believe that it requires a proper deconstruction. Donald Trump, of course, touted Kanye West coming to the White House in his Make America Great Again red hat, as well as Jim Brown, because he thinks that he's been doing such amazing things for Black people. And so I said, let's do this here. We're going to actually play all of it, but not continuously. So we're going to start, then we're going to stop, then start, then stop. Let's go ahead and start with the portion of it. And then you want to pay attention to what I'm about to break down. Go.
You know, people expect that if you're Black, you have to be Democrat. I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of Black people end up being Democrat. They say, you know, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the
All right, so let's, before you even go any further. So he just said that what he has been told, that welfare is the reason a lot of Black people are Democrats. First of all, if anybody understands history, African Americans were largely Republicans after the Emancipation Proclamation. And so you can look at the numbers. When you look at the African Americans who went into Congress, the U.S. House, as well as the U.S. Senate, they were Black Republicans. And it didn't change really until Herbert Hoover came with the Lily White movement. Still had significant Black support on the Republican side, but Black folks were saying they were not strong enough when it came to civil rights. The shift really started with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Why? Because of New Deal programs, not welfare, New Deal programs that also greatly benefited white folks more than they did African Americans. Republicans still got a significant number of Black support in 1952, 1956, even 1960. But yet, even in the campaign in 1960 was Jackie Robinson, who said that he was lied to by Richard Nixon when it came to support of African Americans. Remember, it was John F. Kennedy who made the phone call to Coretta Scott King when Dr. King was jailed in Georgia. She did not know about his whereabouts. Jackie Robinson and others wanted Nixon to make the phone call, but he never did. And so even though Kennedy got significant Black support, Nixon still picked up a significant portion of Black support as well. So Kanye West is dead wrong. He lied. Black folks did not turn Democrat because of welfare. In fact, the most dramatic shift took place in 1964 when it was Senator Barry Goldwater of Arizona who declared his opposition to the 1964 Civil Rights Act. That is when it all changed. Not welfare, Kanye. It was the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So on that point, whoever told you that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Press play.
And so the fathers lose the jobs and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then we got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have
Let's deconstruct that. Now, what Kanye West just said is that he was partially right there. So what happened was, of course, in the 1960s, what people don't want to talk about is that the significant number of unemployed black men in the 1960s. And so you had folks who were in two-parent households. Then he talked about the amount of money that was going to these mothers. First of all, that wasn't somehow just going to black people. What happened was federal regulators, members of Congress, wanted to provide benefits to women, to single women. Now, the problem is the way they wrote it is that if they got married, then the benefits would, that is what happened.
The mixed curriculums. You play basketball while you're doing math. You learn about music while you meditate in the morning. We have to instate mental health and art programs back into the city. So those are, and also Larry Hoover is an example of a man that was turning his life around. As soon as he tried to turn his life around, they hit him with 6 life sentences. So I believe you say don't tear down the statues. Larry Hoover is a living statue. He's a beacon for us that needs to see his family, that needs to go out and represent. When you have a block leader on every single block, they can own the block as their own. That's something I learned from Jim Brown, from America Can. We need to put curriculums for people who really came from,
Jim Brown.
Mental health.
And you got some people like that. That's what I said. You got some black people who have voted for Donald Trump and Jim Brown, okay? NFL's whatever bullshit Cleveland Brown player. Amazing, huh? Let's move on.
Oh, so like nigga really talk how you claim yourself, yo. Claim yourself, yo. Claim yourself. I like that. Yo, because there's new levels of playing yourself. It's called Kanye-ing yourself.
Exactly.
And it goes to Donald Trump, who invited a soft-shoeing, boot-licking coon to the White House, thinking he would have some sort of credibility.
Nothing to worry about.
And Donald Trump himself was embarrassed by the levels of tap dancing and minstrel show that was in his office yesterday.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump, I know the midterms are right around the corner, and you feel like you actually have traction with black voters because you've aligned yourselves with some of the most fringe, kooky, MAGA maniac goofballs. But I'm here to tell you, my G, Trump, you have officially Kanye'd yourself.
Congratulations.
You Kanye'd yourself. Because yesterday, look, I've only heard from my elders that level of cooning.
Right, we never saw it.
I've never seen it. That was like a coon cast. You know, you got broadcasts and podcasts. That right there was a coon cast.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch. It's like a 15-minute video.
Cast 1. You watched it on the train.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Bro, it was like the worst 15 minutes of my... I was mad that I watched it.
What is he trying to...
And I only watched it because I knew we were going to talk about it. Because if not, I wasn't going to watch it at all.
Yo, your man was in there babbling. There was some nuggets of thoughts that I was like...
It was all incoherent. Like, he would talk about one thing, and then the last word that he would say, he'd be somewhere else.
Yo, he caught. Right. I saw like an Instagram 30-second clip, but like in total, what was the nugget? Like, what was the thing that you heard?
It wasn't. It was a bunch of stuff, man.
It was like he did a whole bunch of stuff, and then at the end he goes, and we have to reform prisons. Bam.
You have to watch it,
was like,
actually, we demand that you watch it because you've been the one
well,
here still holding on.
Yeah, I've been trying to champion the kid.
Here's the thing: we've been cracking jokes all morning like there's nothing to talk about.
I was hoping we were going out the rest of the day. I didn't even know this was happening.
You have to see the bottom. This needs to be researched and studied because you'll never see lows like this. I hope there's not new lows.
I don't know what you could. I'll just tell you. I'm just at a point for me where there's no way to talk about it almost and not. I feel like I'm losing brain cells.
Those bonkers,
Like if you have a friend out there who's already not that smart,
Don't let them watch it. They don't have enough brain cells to waste. You will get stupider watching Donald Trump and Kanye West. I'm sorry, Kanye West rant.
I feel bad for him. He called Donald Trump his father figure and went on a yes. He's like a dad to me. He was like, that's why I didn't vote for Hillary.
That's what my dad wrote about. My dad wrote an article about it. And that was my dad said made him the saddest. Was that the fact that he actually said I couldn't really get with the whole I'm with her because I didn't really have a father figure. And like, he literally said something about playing catch with your dad.
It didn't make me feel like a father could play catch with his son. And, I'm married to a family that's all women, so there was very low male energy in there.
By the way, Kanye's dad is with him. He's still alive.
Right now. I wonder how that makes him feel.
And just like beat cancer, like beat a terminal illness. I think Kanye's father had a drug problem when he was young. Like he was in and out of his life.
Well, he definitely wasn't a big factor early because we never heard about him.
Yeah, for sure.
And we all know about Donda. So, but the fact that Donald Trump played that role to someone, at least to Kanye, is tragic.
He couldn't even get a word in. And Trump loves to hear himself talk. He was like,
well, I think Trump didn't want to talk because he didn't know what to say.
Well, because he didn't want to further Kanye himself.
He'd already Kanye himself.
It was embarrassing, bro. Trump at a certain point said, I didn't want to put you in that situation, but you're a special guy. When Kanye jumped up and ran around the desk and was like hugging on him.
I love this guy.
That means even Trump was like, I know it's probably not the best idea for you to do that because I know how I'm viewed, so you probably shouldn't do that.
Right, and I don't really even like you.
No, of course not.
And now you're just out here.
And now I don't even want you hugging. Like, why you hugging on me?
He's like, I almost feel bad for you. That's what it sounds
like. Oh, no, it looked like he felt. This is another reason it was terrible. The image of this, in theory, powerful, important black man leaning over to beg and hug Trump was awful to watch. Then number two, you have this. Trump became sympathetic in the thing when you watch it because the truth is when you watch those two psychos talk, you related more to Trump than Kanye because Trump's sitting there staring at him going, what the hell is going on? And as the viewer, you're going, what the hell is going on? And that's dangerous because it was the whole thing was so awkward through the window.
Trump is not hitting Kanye back after this.
Oh, you think because he's seeing how bad it played?
I don't see this being, if Trump is still communicating with Kanye West after this, I'll be surprised. I think Trump stopped saying his name.
I don't think so either. I think he thinks that Kanye's going to bring him that black vote.
Maybe you're right. But I'll tell you what.
You're saying it went so bad.
I'll tell you what, Kanye West's wife hasn't tweeted about this at all. And she normally is out there cheerleading for her man. I haven't seen one. I'll go look again. Last night at 10 o'clock, she hadn't tweeted one thing about, not like, good job, honey, great meeting. I love that my baby speaks his mind. We love you. We're proud of you. Nada.
I checked yesterday. She just tweeted about meeting with Google about prison reform.
She hasn't tweeted in a full day.
And then there's a separate conversation of how much can you trust a man who's...
And that's about, here's another one, you guys.
We're four misfits who don't belong together, playing for other misfits. We're pretty sure they don't belong either.
Very sad.
They belong to them.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee.
So listen up.
Well, Donald Trump did sit down with Kanye West and with Jim Brown. And there's a 20-minute video, almost 20 minutes, where you can see what Kanye was saying to Donald Trump, basically talking about how that MAGA hat actually made him feel like a superhero and gave him super powers. If you didn't hear it, he also talked about Hillary Clinton and how the I'm with her slogan just didn't resonate with him because he didn't grow up with his dad. Here's some of Kanye West.
It's something about, I love Hillary. I love everyone, right? But the campaign I'm with her just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. It was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Ralph Lauren, looks up to American industry guys, non-political, no bull, and just goes and gets it done.
Oh, boy.
Amongst other things, he said he professes his love for Donald Trump.
From our standpoint, this was just set up to be a lunch of two people that I like, and I guess they like me. And we're gonna have lunch. We're gonna talk.
You said, yes, you know I love you.
I know. But I don't want to put you in that spot. But
I'm standing in that spot. I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug right here.
And that's from the heart. I didn't want to put you in that position, but that's from the heart. Special guy.
He gave him a
He needs some serious help, man. He needs some serious help with some real people in his corner.
And then he goes on to express his views on police brutality.
Police officers are just like us, but this is this whole hate building. Like we also, as Black people, we have to take a responsibility for what we're doing. We kill each other more than police officers. And that's not saying that the police officer is not an issue because they are in a position of power. A lot of times, it's just the overall lack of reparations that we, at any given point, we say, oh, this is racist, this is racist, this is racist, this is racist. So we don't have the reparations, but we have the 13th Amendment. We got to open up the whole conversation.
Listen, man, if Kanye wants to engage with Donald Trump, that's his business, and there are no permanent enemies or friends when it comes to business. But the one fundamental problem I have with what I saw yesterday was, you don't have to bow down to the white man like that. If you're going to be in the Oval Office, be in there on your feet, not on your knees. My God, don't forget you are Kanye West. All that bootlicking is not necessary.
Well, Diddy tweeted, somebody tell this Negro to give me a call, #NotBlackExcellence. Now, T.I. said, now I've been extremely patient and made it a point to not jump to any premature conclusions about Ye and his antics, partially due to the lessons learned from the outcome of other similar situations dealing with my brother Wayne, which I admittedly mishandled a bit in hindsight. But now this ish is next level. Futuristic Sambo, hopping Bob, stepping off Django ass ish. Yay, from what I can gather, this is the most repulsive, disgraceful, embarrassing act of desperation and auctioning off of one's soul to gain power I've ever seen. Now, I recall you asking me to come with you to have this meeting, and I declined. But bro, if any time I would have been in there with you and you behaved that spinelessly in my presence, I feel that I'd be compelled to slap the F out of you, bro, for the people. You ass kissing and bootlicking on a whole new level, and I refuse to associate myself with something so vile, weak, and inconsiderate to the effect this has on the greater good of all our people. If you want to read the whole thing, you can look on social media.
I mean, and the interesting thing is Kanye said some things that actually made sense, but
I would hope so in that 20 minutes.
But when you're saying them on your knees, people don't hear it. Like what he said about the school systems and the curriculum being boring and finding more
finance in these schools relate to the whole Hillary Clinton. But your Yeezys.
What size shoe you wear?
I'm a size 10.
What did I tell you yesterday?
It's crazy. How people are reacting to this. This is horrific idea. And I'm just telling you right now, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the one thing about it, we have to pray for our brother. This is Josey Maybles. I'm going to be back with you because we got to get on air with the game. Whew, I had to get off my mind. I feel a lot better today. My family, of course, was catering to me every move because I was very sick under the weather. Of course, you saw 2 days I was not on the air. Just kind of being under the weather. It's not easy, but I'm back. And we'll be back in about 30 minutes for the game. Purdue versus the Fighting Illini. And then, tomorrow in Miami, they chilling it out. The Chicago Bears. It's Josey Maybles. Be back with you.